Hello, my dear learners. I'm sure you will be doing better and preparing hard for your upcoming examinations. Today I'm here with you with a new topic, a new poem. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. And this is a short extract that has been taken from Endymion, a poetic romance that was composed by John Keats. This is Brishpal Singh. I welcome you all on my YouTube channel, English with Chahar Sir. Before I begin, let me make a small request to all of you to subscribe this channel and share the video to as many of your friends as you can. This class or this lesson is going to be helpful not only for the students who are appearing in their academic examinations, but also even for those who are preparing for TGT, PGT, and other competitive examinations. Without wasting any more time, let's get started. So, again, this lesson is divided into two parts. This is the first section, which I am dealing today with, and today I will elaborate the theoretical part of this poem, like theme, prosody, technicalities. And in second section, I will teach you the text of this poem. So today I skip the text and simply I come to the introduction of this poem. The first, this poem, as I have already told you, is a short extract. So it contains the first stanzas of English Romantic poet John Keats. Okay, John Keats, and John Keats, belongs to Romantic age, Romantic poet. Book length poem Endymion that came into that was published in 1880. Beginning with words so famous that they became proverbial. This line is often heard by people, a thing of beauty is a joy forever. And this is the very first line of this poem, and the line is so impressive that over the time it took the form of a proverb, and it is often quoted by people whenever they are discussing beauty, whenever they are talking about nature. Keats lays out his poetic philosophy through this line. He declares that the beauties of nature and beauties of art, okay, these are the main focus of the poet. And he says that these beauties offer humanity not just a brief holiday from the world's troubles, but lasting consolation. Now, this is a bit philosophical. The world we are living in is often considered to be full of problems, miseries, troubles. And we all are also surrounded by these. But how can we get some respite from these worldly problems and troubles? So, according to John Keats, the best way to keep ourselves away from the effect of these problems and troubles, we should go in the world of nature. We should go in the world of beauty. We should go in the world of art. Why? Because the beauties of nature and art not only provide us some respite from these worldly problems, but it also provides us a lasting consolation. Okay, and it also gives us a reason. to keep on living in this world. Otherwise, when a man is visit, a man is attacked by the problems and troubles. Sometimes it happens that man loses hope of living in this world. But the world of beauty ignites the same hope and motivates or encourages the human beings to live in this world. He explains he is going to tell the lovely story of Endymion. Now, this thing you should keep in your mind. The main character of this poem is Endymion. Endymion is a mythological Greek shepherd. Actually, he was a shepherd who fell in love with the goddess of moon, and this all happened in his dream. And he immediately made up his mind and then set out for a journey in search of the goddess of moon. So, this is the mythological story that has been told by the poet in the form of this poem. Before we discuss the theme and other technicalities of this poem, let me give you a brief summary of the lines which have been prescribed for us to study. This is not the summary of the total poem. This is the summary of only those lines which have been prescribed for us to study. A beautiful thing gives endless joy. The poet says that a beautiful thing is a source of permanent or endless joy. Its beauty only grows, it will never die. This is against the common view of the people. Normally, we think that everything is destined to decay, everything is destined to die and disappear from this world later or sooner. But here, the poet expresses a different outlook, a different philosophy, and says that when it comes to beauty, the subject of beauty, that it never dies. It never dies. It is perennial. It is everlasting. It will always make a safe place for us where we can enjoy peaceful, healthy, and quiet sleep. Dear friends, there are three elements: peace, health, and sleep. And you know, these three elements are most important for a good life. Okay, so these are provided by beautiful objects and beautiful things. Every morning we make wreaths means garlands of flowers that keep us tied to this world. So that is, it is only the beautiful objects that make us be one with this world. Okay, they stop separation from this world. Rather, they encourage us to be one with this world, no matter what kind of world we are surrounded with. In spite of misery, now this is the reality of this world. The world has misery. The world has the lack of great souls. It is full of bad days. It is full of dark, muddy paths, dishonest ways people apply. We have to walk down in our life. So, what is the message of this poem? Through this poem, Keats expresses that we should not lose our heart, we should not lose our hopes by fearing or by getting afraid of the bad days, problems, anxieties, miseries, and all such kind of evils. Okay, because we should focus on the another aspect of this world and the nature, and that is the beautiful aspect. So rather than paying attention to the ugly aspect of this world, we should divert our attention to the beautiful aspect of this world. And this aspect will really motivate us to keep on living in this world. Beauty lifts the dark clouds away from our sad spirit. Sometimes we get disappointed. Sometimes we are depressed. Sometimes we lose all the hopes. Okay. But at that time, at that crucial time, some beautiful vision, some beautiful objects come forward and lift the dark and the gloomy uh, curtain from our sad spirits, and they rejuvenate our spirits and motivate us to live happily in this world. We see this beauty in the sun. Now, here the poet is recounting the sources of beauty. We can find this beauty in sun, we can find this beauty in the moon, we can find this beauty in the old trees, young plants, growing leaves, shade, innocent sheep. In daffodils, there are beautiful flowers, grassy world, in clear streams, that is waterfalls that make a cool secret path for themselves through the hot summer. So this is the world of nature. And the world of nature has been presented as a source of respite to the human being from all the problems of this world. So, if we come in contact with beauty, come in contact with nature, definitely we can have the positive side of this world. In clearings the woods of blooming musk roses, we find beauty too in the great tales we tell of long gone heroes. The beauty is also related to the sacrifices which were made by our heroes in ancient time. And this is the result of their sacrifices that we are living today. The world we are living in is not ugly according to John Keats. Maybe for some time we feel it to be ugly, but if we look at the wider side of this world, larger side of this world, we can find that there are so many beauties to enlighten our spirit, to brighten our spirit, and to take all the gloominess from our minds. So, this is the summary where the one message is clear that the poet finds that this world is worth living. Now we move to the themes of this poem. First theme is redemptive power of beauty. In his famous first line, Keats Endymion makes a fervent statement of a belief: a thing of beauty is a joy forever. The opening stanzas of this long poem declare that whether beauty appears in the face of the moon or in a poem, it offers humanity indestructible consolation, healing, and courage. So, according to Keats, sometimes we can find beauty in the face of the moon. At other time, we can find the beauty in a poem that is composed by some poet. And this beauty offers humanity a consolation. And what type of consolation? The type of consolation which is indestructible, that is perennial. It never comes to an end. It provides us healing. It also provides us courage to live amidst the problems of this world. In fact, the poem suggests beauty might be the only thing that can give people the will to go on living in disappointing, depressing, and imperfect world. These are the three words and the terms poet has used to bring the picture of this world. Okay, this world is disappointing, the world is depressing, and the world is imperfect. It does not matter how disappointing this world is, how depressing this world is, how imperfect this world is. We should not give up our hope to live or keep living in this world. And this kind of living can be made possible only by one thing, and that is beauty. So, beauty is a source of healing, and the healing which every man or everyone can get out of it. So, that was the redemptive power of beauty. Another theme we deal or the poet deals in this poem deals with in this poem: nature, creativity, and poetry. John Keats is a romantic poet, so it is clear that nature is dominant here, creativity and poetry. So Endymion connects artistry to the natural world. Okay, on the one hand there is nature, and at the same time there is art. So here the poet presents a connection between nature and art. Both art and nature, the speaker suggests, come alive in an organic, seasonal way, growing at their own speed. They have their own speed. We cannot change the speed of nature at the same time the speed of art. They have their own innate rhythms and innate qualities, and we cannot modulate them. So these first stanzas hint that poetry in particular should come as naturally as the leaves to a tree. Now, this is the concept. You should keep this line in your mind because this can be asked in the question that how does Keats present poetry? So Keats presents poetry as naturally as the leaves to a tree. What does it mean? It means effortlessness. Okay, effortlessness. The true poetry, according to Keats, is the creation which does not require any kind of efforts on the part of the creator, on the part of the poet. It comes naturally. Okay, so that is again the concept of poetry given by John Keats. Now we move to the symbols employed or used by the poet. Light and darkness. These are the conventional light and darkness symbols which are used in this poem, and where light represents joy and beauty, understanding, while the darkness represents opposite of this, that is sorrow, pain. Life, the poem suggests, is often a pretty gloomy business. Okay, so concept and the philosophy of life is also given in few lines by the poet. Everyone must sometimes travel down over darkened ways through times of confusion, misery, and suffering. These are the common things everyone is destined to face during the course of his or her life. Confusion, misery, suffering. None of us is free from them. These are the universal problems. Fortunately, the cheering light of beauty, but whether it comes from the sun or the moon or from more ethereal sources, can move away the pall from the dark space. But we are fortunate in the sense, according to poet, that we have the sources of beauty. We have nature around us that is a source of beauty. We can come in the contact with nature and we can be free from confusion, misery, and suffering. We can also come in contact with arts, and by observing or by living in the world of art, the beauty of art, we can again be free from all kind of misery, confusion, and suffering. So that is art has the power of redemption, make us free. Now we move to poetic devices, figures, figurative language, and figures of speech. Metaphor. The first figure of speech that is found in this poem is metaphor. Metaphor, I will tell you in my series of poetic devices. There, I will teach you in detail about all these uh, figures of speech. Okay, so here the metaphor has been used like thing of beauty, never pass into nothingness, so it still keeps. So that is metaphor has been used. Metaphor is a kind of comparison actually. Okay, metaphor is comparison. Comparison, but it is what kind of comparison? It is direct comparison. Direct comparison. Then these are the other figures of speech like imagery, allusion, caesura, enjambment, alliteration. Okay, so these figures of speech also find room in the poem. Then we come to form, meter, and rhyme scheme. If we talk about the form of this poem, it's a poetic romance. A term that doesn't mean what the modern readers might guess. Okay, so it does not have a modern connotation, romance. Though this poem also tells a love story, a romance in sense it means it a story of adventure. But the poet has used this word in the sense of adventure, and in our ancient literature, romance is always used in the sense of adventure. It has nothing to do with the love and affair and all these things, which has been turned into in the modern time. Often with quest, that is search, quest, search. Hero sets on a search and quest. Endymion will tell old Greek myth of mortal shepherd's quest to find the goddess of moon, whom he meets in a dream and falls passionately in love with, as I have already told you. So it also introduces the form of the poem, heroic couplet, paired lines of. Okay, so this is heroic couplet has been used in this poem. A heroic couplet, I have already told you, two lines, okay, two lines, rhymed two lines, and iambic pentameter. Iambic means unstressed stress, unstressed stress, total 5 foot. So that has been used in this poem. If we talk about meter, most part has been written in iambic pentameter. This you should keep in your mind. Okay, Dadam, as I told you, this is unstressed and this is stress. So extra unstressed level is also there, that is forever, where there is no stress. But this is just to create a feminine ending that has been used by the poet. If we talk about rhyme scheme, two lines, I've told you heroic couplets, that means two rhymed A A B B C C D D and then E E and E E F F G G. So on. In choosing this rhyme scheme, Keats lays claim to noble poetic heritage. Okay, this is a heritage. Where does this come from? So you should go to the Middle Age and Geoffrey Chaucer, who used heroic couplet lines in Canterbury Tales, very popular poem. And then we come to the 17th century, that is neoclassical period, neoclassical age, where we meet with John Dryden, Alexander Pope, and Restoration poet and Augustan poet. Okay, and they also use this technique in their translation of classical epics, Aeneid and Odyssey. Odyssey is from Homer, okay, and Aeneid is from Virgil. Virgil. Okay, this is Greek and this is Roman. Speaker, it is clear that the poet himself is the speaker. He was only 21 years old when he began writing Endymion, and the poem was his. first long and ambitious project, a task he saw as a testing ground for poetic vacation. His poetry setting here wavers between the English countryside and mythologized ancient Greek. The speaker makes it clear he's writing this poem. Native England is left cities din for countryside, where early budders, early blooming flowers can inspire his poetic budding. So now you can take or you can observe that even the poet, when he started writing this poem, he also left city life and shifted to countryside in order to enjoy the blooming flowers and the beauty of nature. Why? Because he knew that this beauty would really inspire him and enable him to complete this large project of this poem. So thanks a lot for your patience. And once again, the same request: subscribe for better experience of learning. But before I end this lesson, let me tell you about a critic, that is John Lockhart. Okay, and he wrote a review of Endymion, and he told Keats as mean as, filthy as, and the most vulgar of Cockney poetry stars. Okay, that was the Cockney school of poetry, and the Cockney school of poetry that was also related to the Romantic age. I will tell you later. So he vehemently criticized John Keats, and it made an adverse effect on his health. And many people say that just because of such kind of vehement criticism, uh, Keats left this world early. Better and wiser thing to be starved apothecary than a starved poet. John Keats was related to medical profession, so he was suggested that he should go to plasters, pills, and ointment boxes rather than applying his hand in composing a poem. So he is often seen as archetypal romantic poet, a dreamy, sensuous soul who died tragically. Yeah, so friends, I hope you have understood a lot many concepts and the things about this poem. आप इसका स्क्रीनशॉट ले करके और इसको अपनी नोटबुक में नोट कर सकते हैं। इसको आप स्टडी करें, पढ़ें इसको ढंग से। फिर मैं सेकंड पार्ट में जब टेक्स्ट पढ़ाऊंगा, तो आपसे एक रिक्वेस्ट है, कुछ टेक्स्ट को आप अपने सामने रख कर बैठें। हो सकता है कि इस पर आप मोबाइल पर देखें तो ये विजुअल ना हो, तो टेक्स्ट अगर आपके पास होगा तो यू विल अंडरस्टैंड बेटर। एंड थैंक यू। This is all from my side, and I will continue to come up with another topics. Thank you. Take care.